Ever get that feeling, like you're just spinning your wheels trying to master something? Our source material starts with Liam, who's really putting in the effort to learn English, but the tenses, they just trip him up.
Yeah, tenses.
He even says something like, I keep messing up. I'll say, I go to the park yesterday instead of, I went to the park yesterday. And he's like, oh, it's so frustrating. I think we've all been there, right? You know what you want to say, but the words just don't come out right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tenses can be tricky. Even a little slip up and boom, your meaning gets all jumbled up. What I find fascinating, though, is how these little grammatical structures,
Right.
they actually reflect how we think about time, the relationship between different events.
It's true. And that is exactly what we are diving into today. Our central material is a conversation between Emma and Liam, where Emma breaks down all the ins and outs of English tenses, makes it all crystal clear. So our goal in this deep dive is to take that same approach. We want to give you a solid grasp of how these tenses work and why we use them the way we do.
It's like handing you the keys to confident communication.
Exactly. You'll just know whether to say is happening, will happen, or happened. No more second guessing.
And what I like about Emma's method is that she builds things up gradually. Starts with the tenses we use all the time and then moves on to the more complex ones. Even tackles those little tricky bits that trip people up. We'll follow the same path today, keep things nice and clear.
Perfect. So let's kick things off with the present simple. Emma explains this one is your go-to for talking about things you do regularly. Those truths that hold true over time, and just general facts like, I eat breakfast at 7 a.m. every day, that's a regular habit. Or, the sun rises in the east, that's a universal truth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about the typical, the habitual, the things that are constant, And when we build these sentences in the positive form, it's pretty straightforward. Subject followed by the base form of the verb. Oh, and that little S or S we add on for he, she, and it, like in she plays tennis, that's all about making sure the verb agrees with the subject grammatically. Tiny detail, but it makes a difference.
Absolutely. That third person singular can catch people out sometimes. Now, for negative sentences, we introduce do not or does not before the base verb. So, he does not like coffee. And to ask a question, we simply flip that around and start with do or does. Do you speak English?
Those are the basics, your foundation. But here's where things get interesting. Emma points out that the present simple, it isn't always about the present. It can also sneak into the future, especially when we're talking about scheduled events.
You're so right. Think of that example she gives. The train leaves at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Clearly talking about the future, right? But because it's a fixed timetable, we use the present simple. It's like the schedule itself is this permanent present, even though the event hasn't happened yet.
Precisely. It's not so much about what you intend to do, but more about an official, prearranged plan. It's this schedule that dictates the tense.
Got it. Okay, moving on to the present continuous. Emma explains this tense is for actions happening right now, in this very moment, or around now, in a more general sense. So, I am reading a book that describes what's happening as we speak, but she is studying for her exams that could be happening over a few days or even weeks.
Right. The emphasis is on the action being in progress. It's ongoing. And the structure reflects that am, is, or are. Those are our forms of to be, followed by the main verb plus ing. So they're playing football. You can picture the action unfolding.
And to make it negative, we just slip in a not. He is not watching TV. And for questions, we lead with am, is, or are you listening to me? Hopefully, the answer is yes.
I would hope so too. Now, just like the present simple, the present continuous can also have a foot in the future, as Emma points out. We use it for planned future actions.
Oh yeah, that's right. I am meeting my friend at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Still tomorrow. But because it's a firm arrangement, present continuous often feels more natural than saying, I will meet. It implies a pre-existing plan, you know?
It all boils down to that element of a concrete plan, something you've actively set up. More than just a possibility, it's on your schedule.
Makes sense. All right, time to shift gears and talk about the past simple. Emma lays it out clearly. This tense is for actions that started and finished in the past. Nice and tidy. I visited Paris last year. She finished her homework an hour ago. Those actions have a definite beginning and end in the past.
Yes. The action is complete. It happened at a specific point or within a defined period in the past. And structurally, we have our subject, followed by the past tense form of the verb. This is where those regular verbs, the ones that take away, come in, like walked. And then there are those irregular verbs that have their own unique past tense forms, like ate. Those irregular verbs, they can be a bit of a challenge to memorize sometimes.
They can be real curveballs, that's for sure. And for negative past simple sentences, we use did not or didn't before the base form of the verb. We did not go to the party. And to ask a question, we start with did you see the movie?
Now, Emma brings up a point that often trips learners up, knowing when to use the past simple versus the present perfect. Liam, in the conversation, uses an incorrect example. I have seen that movie last week. No, corrects him to, I saw that movie last week. Why is that? What's the key difference that tells us which tense is the right one to use here?
The giveaway is those time expressions. The past simple, it loves specific markers of when something happened. Last week, yesterday, in 2020, it pins the event to a particular point in the past.
That's the heart of it. The present perfect, which we'll get to in a bit, has a whole different relationship with time. It's not so much about specific moments.
Okay, let's explore the past continuous then. Emma explains this tense is all about actions that were in progress at a particular time in the past, like setting the scene for a past event. I was reading a book at 8 p.m. last night, so at that specific moment, the reading was happening. Or they were playing soccer when it started to rain. An action already in motion, then interrupted.
Exactly. And the structure is subject plus was or were. These are our past tense forms of to be, followed by the main verb with that ing ending. So she was cooking dinner describes an activity unfolding over a period in the past.
Negative, same pattern. We were not sleeping.
Yeah.
And questions. We start with was or were. Were you studying last night?
I love the example Emma uses to show interruption. I was watching TV when the phone rang. So the past continuous was watching. That gives you the background, the ongoing activity. And then the past simple rang, that's the event that cuts in. It's like the past continuous sets up this longer action. And the past simple is this quick point within that time frame.
It does. It's like a little snapshot of a moment in the past. Okay, on to the present perfect. Emma explains this one is for actions that happen at an unspecified time before now, or actions that have a connection to the present, they're relevant to now. I have visited Japan 3 times. The exact times don't matter. It's the experience that counts. She has already finished her homework, so the completion in the past leads to a current result. She's free to do something else now.
You hit the nail on the head that unspecified time is key to understanding the present perfect. The focus is on the experience itself, or the current result, not when it happened. Structure. Subject plus have or has plus the past participle of the verb. They have seen that movie.
To make it negative, add not. He has not eaten lunch yet, implying maybe he's hungry now. And questions. Start with have or has. Have you ever been to Paris? So the focus is on whether you've had that experience at any point up to now.
And this is exactly why you wouldn't say, I've seen that movie last week, which Liam does in the source material. That last week makes it specific. clashes with the whole vibe of the present perfect.
Ah, that makes sense. All right, now for the past perfect. Emma says this tense is used when we're talking about actions that were finished before another action in the past. It's about setting up a sequence of events, both of which happened in the past. So I had finished my homework before the movie started. The homework comes first. Or she'd already left when I arrived, so her leaving happened before my arrival. It's like the past or past, if you will.
Exactly. It helps create this timeline of past events, showing which happened first. Structurally, we have subject plus had plus the past participle. They had eaten dinner before the guests arrived.
Okay. Negative. He had not seen the email before the meeting. Question. Had you finished your work before the deadline?
And Emma uses a great example to illustrate the order of events. After I had finished my homework, I went to bed. That past perfect, had finished, makes it crystal clear which action happened first. It's like saying, first this happened and then that happened. All in the past, of course.
It's a way to say past the past. Okay, on to the future. We'll start with the future simple. Emma says, this is for actions that will happen, well, in the future. I will call you tomorrow. She will graduate next year. Pretty straightforward.
It is. We use it to express future intentions, predictions, promises, the structure. Subject plus will plus the base form of the verb. They will travel to Spain.
Okay. Negative. He will not attend the meeting. Question. Will you help me with this?
Oh, and Emma mentions a really helpful point about will. It can be used for those decisions we make spontaneously, right in the moment. Like if the phone rings, you might say, I'll answer it. That wasn't planned. It's an immediate response, a decision made as you speak.
Not a planned action. It's more like an in-the-moment choice about the future. Okay, moving on to the future continuous. Emma explains this is for actions that will be in progress at a specific time in the future. I will be studying at 8 p.m. tomorrow. They will be traveling this time next week. The focus is on the activity ongoing at that future point.
Precisely. It's like painting a scene in the future, describing an action that will be unfolding. Structurally, it's subject plus will be plus the main verb with that ing. She will be working late tonight.
Okay, let's see. Negative. We will not be attending the party. And question, will you be joining us for dinner?
And that subtle point about politeness that Emma makes, it's really interesting. Will you be using the car tonight? That often comes across as more courteous than the more direct, will you use the car tonight? It softens the question, you know.
It's like you're checking in on an ongoing future activity, rather than just asking about a future event in isolation. Okay, last but not least, we have the future perfect. Emma explains this one is for actions that will be completed before a specific time in the future. I will have finished my project by next week. She will have graduated by the end of the year. Think of it as reaching a point of completion, but in the future.
Exactly. It's looking back from a point in the future, saying that an action will be finished prior to that future reference point. The structure is subject plus will have plus the past participle. They will have left by the time we arrive. So our arrival is the future point, and their leaving will be done before them.
All right. Negative. You will not have completed the report by tomorrow. Question. Will you have finished your homework by 8 p.m.?
And Emma highlights that those time expressions like by, before, or by the time are often used with this tense. By the time you arrive, I will have already left. Makes it very clear the order of completion in the future. Draws a line in the sand, the leaving is done before the arrival.
So there we have it. A comprehensive tour of English tenses, guided by Emma's clear explanations. It can feel like a lot to digest, but remember, as Emma wisely tells Liam, practice makes perfect. The more you actively use these tenses, the more natural they become.
Couldn't agree more. Understanding the rules, seeing those clear examples, that's a great first step. Now, with this detailed breakdown under your belt, you're in a much better position to really grasp and confidently use those English tenses.
And here's a thought for you to ponder. Really start paying attention to the tenses you use, both in speaking and writing. Notice how others use them in conversation, in articles you read. You might be surprised by what you discover, those more nuanced ways these little time markers shape meaning. It's an ongoing journey of learning and refining, and you've taken a huge step forward today.